Happy New Year. It's now 2024 and welcome to Turner Truck and Tractor. My name's Les Turner. You saw the title to the video, Take This Job and Shove It. And yeah, there's been some changes behind the scenes going on, and I thought I'd catch you up and what's been going on and what's to look forward to in 2024. Well, after more than 3 decades at my corporate career, on Friday, December the 22nd, I called it quits, and that was my last day. Well, it was my last day, but it was a lot less dramatic than how I put it. I left on great terms and have many great friends there and wish everybody well, and it's still a great company. I gave, a full month notification of my upcoming retirement, and they were all nice and helpful and everything. And, it's bittersweet to leave people that in some cases I've worked with for over 30 years, and I've seen them have kids and their kids have had kids. And I treasure that so much, and that's just irreplaceable and greatly valued. And, I helped in the handover and the transition and left on good terms. It was not scorched earth policy or anything like that. And like I said, I wish everybody well there. So why did I do that? Well, work was going well and I liked what I did for the most part. And getting off a winning horse, doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. A lot of thought and prayer, went into that. So, I think having situational awareness in real time and knowing your place in history and what the future may hold, that's really tough, and I've tried to develop that. And, there's no point you have it per se, but it is a muscle that you need to exercise, I think. And in short, for myself and what I would recommend as well, you have to balance your health, your wealth, your time, and things like that. And sometimes, I like to build spreadsheets or do stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you sort of know when you know. Due to some time off policy changes at work, if I would have stayed, I would have left a big chunk of PTO, and I didn't want to do that. That didn't seem efficient, and being a good employee, not calling in, it seemed like, it wasn't being rewarded in that sense. So I wanted to take advantage of the PTO that I had coming, and work was changing and the direction of the department was changing. And I wouldn't say it's in a bad way at all. It's just in a different way. I didn't have big problems with that either. Another thing was, like a lot of businesses and corporations, from going from remote work back into the office. And so that was me as well. I would have to drive and back into the office 4 to 5 times a week, and so that was another factor in it. Not an end all by itself, but I sure did grow accustomed to the flexibility of working at home. It seemed a lot less stressful, a lot less, water cooler gossip kind of stuff and all the drama that may go into work. And I really prospered, working at home and really liked it. The stress level dropped considerably. And going back to the office, I really wasn't looking forward to that aspect of it. A little bit's fine, but 4 to 5 days a week, every day, all the time, that just seemed a little bit much. And, I had this opportunity and things started coming together. And so, really have to weigh it because I'm still on the young side to retire. But yet, if I do things right, I can stitch it together. And no, I'm not going to be buying a whole lot of new trucks and going on cruises, but I'm not a big cruise person anyway. And I've never been on one, so I don't know if I am or not, to be honest. But, I love new trucks. Who doesn't? And old guitars. But, I think I can manage in light of, a better life and more flexibility to schedules and demands and everything like that. Starting off the new year, another thing that comes to mind is I've had a lot of close relatives have heart attacks and strokes at a relatively young age. And so I wonder, is that my lot in life as well? So that's always on the back of my mind. And I felt like, just sitting in a chair tied to a computer 8 hours a day, I just felt my body just disintegrating, by the day doing that. I need to get up on my feet and move, health wise. And, I'd be upset. I don't want to die behind the computer. If I did, I'd be dead. I wouldn't know it. But if just looking outside, if that was the thing, I wouldn't be happy about that. So, two things would be the death of this, death itself and probably meetings. So, just meeting after meeting and listening to all that and knowing that I had an opportunity to do other things, you got to weigh, I could continue to work and have the regret I stayed, or I could, go out on my own and retire. And then, there could be the regret, I retired too early in that sense. So you just got to really balance that out, and that's a tough decision. You don't always get to go back and change things. But I will miss the people there, and probably about half of what I did. But, just meeting after meeting and listening to all that just didn't thrill me in that sense. But, life changes, and, you sort of shift from being young. You want to be impressive to more as you get older and reflective, to about leaving an impact in the job, making a difference in the place and especially in the people, and hand it off to the next folks coming up, better than you found things. So, the flexibility working at home for me, really improved when we were able to do so. So going back to the office, like I said, was something, didn't look forward to. I'll give you my short Dave Ramsey speech here. Bear with me here. Is, to be able to retire early, I did a lot of things right. There's a few things and maybe nuances I would have done different. Especially saving outside the 401k to bridge that gap till you're 59 and a half and things like that, because I've got a few years to go to do that. So one of the things I did probably about 5 years ago was saving up with, dedication and focus outside the 401k. But, I would say if you have a 401k or any kind of company program like that, and if it matches anything, contribute to it to the full match. That's free money just for showing up. Do that from day one. If you didn't, start now. So, have a budget, live below your means, don't live off of credit cards and high interest loans, things like that. And, have an emergency fund. That's so important. When you have an emergency fund, it's funny how the emergencies then don't happen as much or as bad. And then, like I said, start investing outside, and it can be just as simple as start off $25 a paycheck to just a low-cost S&P 500 fund. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a financial advisor, even though I like that aspect and doing that stuff. That's not what I'm about, advising others or the channel. But, that's one thing that I guess I'm a hobbyist in that sense. And I like researching things like that and putting things together. So, I'll leave that there, but, if you need to bridge that gap before the 59 and a half, that's one way to do that without any tax penalty. S&P 500, or another thing that I'm into is dividend investing, growth in high dividend stocks and funds. That's another way to build that up and get that passive income coming in before you're 59 and a half. So what am I going to do now? So let's get to that. I mentioned, about health. That's one thing. I want to focus on getting in better shape, eating right, less stress, getting on my feet and exercise, things like that. A lot of home improvements. Got a whole long list of that. And it's not even honey-do list. It's things that I want to do. So, of course, working on my truck and tractor back there, and hopefully I'll share a lot of that. Get into my investing hobby. And then, of course, YouTube. and I want to share a lot of things there and up my YouTube game with more quantity and with quality, in the investment, in the equipment, the editing, things of that nature, and try to do a better job for me and for you. And I like that challenge and this growth and stuff, because I've felt like I've done everything sort of by the book or what's expected, growing up and living in a sort of a black and white world, and getting out of that. I feel like I'm jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, but in a sense, I've got to trust the system and what I've built to test it and grow it. And also, I'm enjoying the growth and the freedom and a little bit of risk taking, because I've been so risk adverse for so long. And so that's sort of liberating as well. So we'll see how it goes. But this challenge has been uplifting already in the first few days, and the growth, has brought me joy in that. So in short, I want to get back to me while there's a little bit of me left, health-wise, mental-wise, personality, everything else, and just sort of give back to me, not as an ego trip or anything like that, or it's me, but it seems like, after so many years of give, you almost have to inhale a little bit to where you can give again and be a benefit to others. So I hope everyone has a great 2024. That's some of the things I've got in mind. And, another one of my YouTube goals is to reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you hadn't already, hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.